Hello and welcome to the Reading Entertainment Podcast, episode 390 for March 12th, 2023. My name is Nathan Reeton Spruth, and joining me this week is a fan. It's Andrew Rowe McFain.
Wait, but a fan?
I thought I heard a fan, but that might have just been you breathing heavily.
Well, it could have been that. I mean, I have fans in the room.
I see.
I mean, the computer on my computer.
I see. That makes sense. And we're also joined by Connor the Cyberpunk Monk Besh.
And you want to take this take? It's kind of got some hostile energy.
This is the one where...
You sure you don't want to try it again?
I feel attacked.
Do you want to apologize to Aroa?
In my own.
I do not want to apologize to Aroa. Nope. I'm going to move on. And I'm your host, Nathan Reeton Spruth. Let me ask you, Connor, where can we find you?
You could find me, you could find you, you could find Aroa at a website known as Aroa.website. You punch that into your URL and you hit the enter button, and then I think you do still have to click OK, and then the music starts playing. But at that point...
do, or I'll kill you.
I don't think it's going to go that extreme. But at that point, you have access to all of our relevant social media links. One of those I'd like to draw your attention to is Clinton's Core Classics, a Rise of the Rune Lords First Edition actual play podcast. If you're into that sort of thing, I worked very hard on it, and I think you would enjoy it.
If you listen to this garbage, you probably like that gold mine.
Okay, nobody listens to this garbage.
There are some people that listen to it, but I will say that I also work technically on that podcast as well. And you can find me, Nathan Reeton Spruth, everywhere at Reeton. Find me on Twitter at Reeton. I'm there tweeting most of the time. And you can find me on Twitch. That's a big one. I stream Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time at twitch.tv/Reeton. It would mean a lot if you went and followed. And we're going to move on, and we're going to ask Aroa what games you played this week.
I finished Pizza Tower.
Oh, right on.
I'm proud of you for finishing that tower of pizza. We knew you could do it.
I was surprised.
I still don't know what this game is.
It's Wario Land.
It's Wario Land 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
It's great. I loved it.
Purring. Obviously, you loved it. You're purring.
Oh yeah. God, the kitty cat. I loved it, and I plan on going back to it probably soon, just to see if I can get a higher end game rating.
Gotta get all those achievements.
There are a lot of achievements.
I bet.
I bought this for one of my friends because I loved this game so much, and I knew he wanted to play it, but hadn't gotten around to it yet. And I figured that part of that was that it cost $20, so I got it for him just because I love it, and more people need to play it. It's fantastic indie 2D platformer puzzle game thing. And speedruns are going to be fucking wild, man.
I bet.
They're going to be so wild. Also played a bit of a Vampire Survivors wannabe called Bone Razor Minions.
It's hilarious to me that people are ripping off that game.
Yeah.
Right, it's incredibly successful.
It is, but it's so out of left field. Like the game Vampire Survivors came out of left field. And now people are like, aha, we must rip it off.
Well, yeah. Anything fresh and new that it proves to be popular, you get people who are trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I will say that Bone Razor Minions has certainly its own twist on the formula. It's a lot shorter sessions that you go through. It's a lot more focused on sort of the upgrades that you do outside of the roguelite aspect, and there's a lot of like little side things too. Like, it's just a really cute game, and it's only like It's doing the same thing as Vampire Survivors, where it's only like $5. And I think it's cool.
We
It's
should make a Vampire
really well done.
Survivors clone and make it $100 just to see how much we could sell.
You play
You're
as
right.
Peter Molyneux, running around defeating game design ideas as they come in floating from the outside of the screen.
Multiplayer.
Didn't he make that game where like it was all about microtransactions and you hit a block and at the end of it and he's like, "That's it, no more. The server's shut down now. Goodbye, everyone."
I don't.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
the
is that a
Cube.
fever dream? I swear that was a thing.
I don't
No,
think that one was microtransactions though.
Oh, it was.
Oh,
It
was it?
100% was. It started out that it was totally free, and then people were like, "It takes too long to break blocks," and then the team at 42 Cans or whatever was like, "I know how to fix this, Peter. We'll put in microtransactions so you can buy a gold pickaxe that smashes 9 blocks at once." Woo! And the big win at the very end was that you got to appear in the game that they were actually working on,
Goddess.
Goddess. You got to be in the game as the god, and then that didn't even happen.
Nope.
And there was a lot of legal shit with that, and it was dumb. And
Now,
also, Goddess was bad.
and now he's making a blockchain game, and we're gonna move on. Did you play anything else, Aroa?
What? Hold on. I don't think you remember where you were in your own podcast.
I don't.
You're asking us about a Roa.net website.
Wait,
No. What I was playing.
Yeah,
And then
we
we
were.
got the Pizza Tower.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it said Bone Raider minions.
yeah. And then
Oh,
I
well,
asked
we
if
got
he
off
was
on a
playing
tangent.
anything else.
Yes.
Man,
You're the
I'm
one
actually
confused.
high, and you're confused more than me.
My apologies.
Did you play anything else, Aroa?
No, I got nothing else to comment on at this time.
Okay,
I
we're
rest my case.
gonna move on, and we're gonna ask Connor, what games have you played?
The games that I've played that are worth talking about, one of them, of course, is Red Dead Redemption 2. And you guys know how I have this horrible sickness where, if you put collectibles in front of me, I have to go and collect them all.
Yeah.
I'm at the point in the game now where, I can't hunt any more legendary animals. A lot of the things that happen, they won't happen until Arthur gets more sick. So I'm, begrudgingly doing the story, just all I want to do is go back to go in the woods and hunt alone. And it's making me go into civilization.
Oh
Which
no.
I think is an unexpected / unintended story element that I'm leaning into heavily. It's still a great game. Kudos all around for it. If for some reason the listener hasn't played it yet, I can't recommend it enough.
That's
then-
actually how I'm going to kidnap Connor, is just by placing collectibles in a line out to the forest.
It'll work too. It'll fucking
Family
work.
Guy joke. Family Guy joke.
Was
Yeah,
it a
since
Family
they
Guy
did it.
joke? I don't know. I don't watch Family
with
Guy.
Adam West. Or no, not Adam West, with James Woods.
James Woods.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, a pizza. Okay, I vaguely remember that. We're gonna move on. Do you play anything else other than Red Dead?
Yeah. Another game which just signifies the sicknesses that I have. Y'all ever heard of Shenmue? I talked about this a little bit last week. That I was kind of feeling nostalgic for it. So yeah, I spent this last week, especially on my Steam Deck. It runs great on the deck. Mostly running around 1985 Japan, asking people if they've seen a black car on that day.
Is there a beeping?
I think
just-
that is the sound of my heater.
Oh, I thought it was a fax machine.
Oh no, Connor's getting a fax.
Maybe we're hearing different beeps. I don't know.
He wanted to replicate the 1987.
Yeah, I'm really immersed. I got my CRT monitors back out. Man, playing this game makes me miss the Dreamcast. Why has no other designer, and I've talked about this before, taken the UMD, the virtual memory card with the screen and the interactability, just put it on your phone? Everyone's controller has a USB-C cable into it. Just take that, make it plug into the phone, and then let me use my phone.
But we tried that.
We
Don't
did.
you remember it with around the Xbox One's launch time period? Every game had a mobile app that added extra functionality.
Oh yeah, and
I
it was
remember
awful.
games had like I don't remember mobile apps with extra functionality. I remember like mini games that were like, and if you get the high score, you'll unlock an extra skin.
No, in Watch Dogs, you could use your phone to like trigger hacks on the map, and also like you could invade other people's games, but only through the mobile app.
That's kind of late. Like I know Fallout had the you can use your Pip-Boy on your phone. I have a fond memory of my roommate at the time taping his phone to his wrist and using it like that.
Was
I
it?
own the actual Pip-Boy thing.
Well, yeah, I
Like,
know.
You're supposed to put you're supposed to put your phone in the Pip-Boy case that you paid like $300 for, and then you have it on your wrist, and it's great whenever you have arms that are just slightly thicker than what they were planning for.
Yeah, you need to just chop part of your arm off.
Yeah, like I don't even have like I got some fat on my arm, but it's not a ton. I don't know, man. They were planning for children using that thing, I swear.
Probably. I also remember vaguely, and I could be wrong, one of the Nintendo consoles, and I want to say it was the Switch or the Wii U. I think it was the Wii U. You had to get a mobile app to be able to talk online.
No, that's the Switch.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, that is a
Switch.
Switch. Yeah. So it's not a terrible idea if implemented well, but we have discovered over the last 10 years that it has not been implemented well. Did you play anything other than Shenmue? Or well,
Nothing.
after that. Sorry.
Nothing really worth mention. Still been doing my reading, still been doing my painting, still been editing my podcast.
Good.
Video games take time, man. Especially when you're playing video games like Shenmue and Red Dead 2.
That is true. I tend to burn through, like, I beat Red Dead pretty quickly, but that's because I kind of burned through the storyline rather than going through and doing everything like you're doing.
I mean, did you get any of the legendary ones other than like the bear you gotta hunt?
No,
It's dope.
I
It's fun.
did not enjoy the hunting.
Fishing's enjoyable. Tracking birds is like not something I ever thought I'd be interested in, but it's pretty damn enjoyable. Give it a try. I give it nothing but warm commendation. This is a game that does not need anyone singing its laurels any more than it already has. But that being said, I recommend it.
We are gonna move on to the games I played. On Monday, I played some Overwatch. On Tuesday, I played some Persona 3 Portable. And then on Friday, I played some Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. I like that game. It is a little slow for streaming. Just not quite action-packed or like really storyline heavy. You do, at least when I'm playing it, you end up just like falling into a ton of money at some point, and that made me feel really good, you know, going from being pretty broke to being like, oh, now I have 40,000 gold. Okay, great. But it is fun. I like Bannerlord. You'll notice that on Wednesday and Thursday I didn't play any games, and that was because I went on a work trip to a town on the coast of Oregon called Bandon. And let me tell you something about Bandon. That place sucks. Everything closes at like 7 in that town. And I was like, oh, I got home from work at like 9. And by home, I mean to the hotel. And I was like, I'm going to get some food. And I looked, and there was nowhere that was open. The Irish pub closes at 7.
Is it a dry county or something?
No, it's just boring.
Vampires.
Yeah, vampires. That's it. No, it's
Oregon vampires.
It's just terribly boring and rainy. And there was only one place I found that was open that was like a bar that had really bad pizza. So that was where I ate that night.
Man,
and I asked,
you ate at the vampire bar and didn't die.
Yeah, it was pretty great. I actually made some money because I did some video like video lottery. Yeah,
yeah, you made some money at the bar.
Yeah, but I asked them. I was like, so like, I noticed that like there's no fast food even. Like there's no McDonald's open or anything like that. And they're like, oh yeah, there's no fast food in Bandon. They won't allow it. Okay. But
Oh, that's where I grew up, had that same problem.
right.
And now the town's dead.
Well, and I was like, okay, but there's a Dairy Queen. Now, mind you, it closes at like 8:30, but there's still a Dairy
Literally?
Queen.
Same thing in Carrollton. Dairy Queen is the only one.
And you know why? Figured it out.
Because they're franchised?
No, because it doesn't matter. Most McDonald's are franchised.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's because Dairy Queen is fan food, not fast food. That is
The hell
literally
does
the
that
reason.
That's
I
bullshit.
I have no idea what that means.
That's some horse shit right there. That's what that means.
Yeah,
That
it
means
is.
that whoever wrote up that law said, fucking, except for Dairy Queen, I like Dairy Queen.
Well,
Basically.
my sister's the manager of the Dairy Queen, so of course we got to let the Dairy Queen stay open till 10. No, 8:30. Jesus.
Yeah. And I looked up, I was like, okay, maybe I can DoorDash something the first day I was there.
Well,
And-
you learned pretty quick, didn't you?
There were 3 places and it was all like Dollar General and the local grocery store. So, Bandon sucks and is rainy, and if you ever come to Oregon, don't go there. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about some news stories. These progressively get the first 2 are good. The third one is kind of awful and terrible, and everyone's probably heard of it already, but we'll talk about it a bit. So the first one is they're coming out with a new Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4?
We don't actually know. It doesn't have an official title. Just
All right.
Yeah,
that it's
The-
happening.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be 4.
probably going to be 4. I'm pretty excited for it.
Honestly, if anyone's gonna do like a reverse Uno not joke name, but like out of left field name, it's gonna be Dragon Ball.
that is true. I'm kind of
Budokai
surprised.
Tenkaichi Sparking.
I'm kind of
Right,
surprised they're
right.
coming out with it because the last game was released in 2005.
It's to prey on nostalgia.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, that's why. That makes sense. Hopefully they'll prey on some of that nostalgia for the original .hack series at some point. Release the original .hack as a remaster. They did it for GU. They can do it for the original 4. Are either of you excited for this? I watched the trailer. It's very short. They did show some footage from the other games, which included, of course, references to the best Dragon Ball franchise, the Dragon Ball GT. Right? Everybody loves Dragon Ball GT.
There's just so much. It's so overwhelming sometimes.
He doesn't even. Connor doesn't even get the joke.
No,
The joke is that GT is the worst series.
Not only
because
is it
it wasn't written by Akira Toriyama, whatever the hell his name is. Akira
Yeah.
Toriyama.
Gary Toriyama.
Gary Toriyama.
They don't even consider it canon. So the
They do
new
not.
Dragon Ball Super show.
Oh wait,
And-
that's the one where he
and
becomes a kid, right?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I do remember that.
He goes Super Saiyan 4 and turns into a monkey man.
Yep. And that they
Right.
showed off in the trailer. If you watch it, they showed off Super Saiyan 4, like
Okay.
from the previous games. So that
Yeah,
was
so
the reference
It
I
could
was
be
making.
Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi, GT, Blazing.
Oh my god,
With
I would
Knuckles.
I would cry out from laughing if they made a GT game.
It could happen.
In 2023.
Yeah. Or that should be their April Fool's joke. Is to show off just a bunch of GT stuff and be like, "We're bringing it back." So anyway, I'm excited. I know that not Durga. Aroa, do you like Fighter Z? I thought for some reason I vaguely recall you thinking Fighter Z was good.
I think that it looks really good and it seems like it plays really good, but I am not an authority on fighting games in general, so I couldn't say for sure it's quality. Everything I've heard or seen though seems to imply that it is a very good fighting game in general.
Yeah.
Not even just the best Dragon Ball fighter.
The only problem I have with Fighter Z is I'm not a huge fan of like the team fighting games where you have
Yeah,
multiple characters that you swap in and out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
What about you, Connor? Have you ever played any Fighter Z or any of the new Dragon Ball games?
Fighter Z was the one that was animated, so it looks like it was a drawing while you were playing it, right? Is that
Yes.
one's the yeah? So I played that one for like 10 minutes and decided it wasn't for me.
What do you mean?
I liked Budokai back in the day. I played Budokai 1 through 3, but I don't think I ever played any of the Budokai Tenkaichi ones.
I did.
No, I know it's not exactly the same genre, but the Xenoverse, like the one where you make your own duder and like it's all time wibbly wobbly. That one was pretty fun. I enjoyed like even though it's just every other Dragon Ball game, like it's you go through the basic story and you unlock better abilities you do. Like I knew what I was getting in for right when I sat down, and that one I enjoyed quite a bit.
That game was good. Carrying on from that, I think the most recent one was the Kakarot game.
Yeah.
And that one was really good for what it was, but eventually, at least in the main storyline, you kind of get overpowered, or I got overpowered, and so you just run through the enemies, including all of the like major villains. But other than that, it's a good game, and hopefully the new Tenkaichi game is also very good. But we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about something that's close to Aroa's heart. Vinyl records have outsold CDs for the first time in 35 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes zero sense to me because records suck.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I think records are like the superior sound platform, aren't they?
No.
Yeah.
No, they are not.
They're analog audio, even though. So here's the thing. I personally, while I do enjoy collecting records, I'm not going to say that records just outright sound better than digital formats, but I think that it's just more fun to experience music in an analog physical way like that. I just like the format for that purpose. A CD has its own slight merit, but it just doesn't have the same sort of nostalgia factor that I think you get out of either cassette or a record. Because the argument's always that like it's analog audio, so it can be as good as your headphones can reproduce. But most people don't realize that all fucking music is digitally mastered at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's all recorded digitally, it's all mastered digitally. Like any kind of benefit that you'd be getting from the analog sound format has been lost as soon as the song was recorded. But I like this because I just personally think that vinyl has a more interesting, both visually and just in the overall experience. Just everything about it is superior to CDs. And I don't see why we've been selling CDs at all in the last decade, considering you're going to get the same audio quality from a 320 megabit per second MP3 file. So why even bother?
Some people still drive around in cars that don't have like anything other than a CD player or an auxiliary port. Yeah. So, and some people just like having physical media in general. So, same thing with vinyl. Some people just like owning the vinyl, and some people like just owning the CD. That being said, streaming has 92.3% of the market.
Oh yeah, like I subscribe to Spotify.
Yeah,
in spite of having like plenty of music already. Like,
well, and Spotify kind of being a bag of dicks. Well,
sure, but like, what else am I gonna go to? Am I gonna go to Apple Music?
Yeah.
No.
Apple Music. What was Tidal a thing? Is that, am I recalling?
That's still a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. That was from one of the rappers, one of them old school rappers.
I don't know, but just so you know, Vinyl records sold 41 million units, compared to CDs 33 million units.
I can't believe that many CDs are still sold.
Or vinyl records. Vinyl records were dead when I was a child.
So vinyl has been on a resurgence since like the early 2000s.
I know.
Like, and it's only been accelerating as more people have gotten, more people from that are in my age group get to the point where they have plenty of expendable income, and you've got hipsters of the Gen Z crowd even that are fucking buying this shit. And hell, a lot of Gen Xers, their favorite bands actually have original vinyl records that probably are analog audio. Like, so it's really just a great period for vinyl records, and that's good. I'm happy about that.
Good. But I don't think...
I wish that there was a better alternative than Bandcamp for smaller artists trying to get vinyl records made.
Is Bandcamp's the Apple Music or the Mac program, right?
No,
I'm thinking something else.
You're thinking of
GarageBand.
Oh,
yes. No, Bandcamp is where a lot of independent artists will put their music up for sale. Ever since SoundCloud kind of became huge dicks, that's where a lot of people have been putting stuff. But they got bought by Epic either last year or the year before, right around the time that they bought Harmonix. So I'm very iffy on that platform. I still buy music from them, but it's so nice for artists because then a lot of the time they can have physical copies of their shit made through that, and it's really cool. I just bought a cassette from somebody yesterday.
A cassette?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Cassettes are like they're making the next resurgence. They're making the next resurgence. Then we're gonna go back to 8-tracks. It'll be fantastic.
I am actually with...
No, stop it. Don't get an 8-track player.
No. That's not what I was getting at. I already have one anyway. I was saying, like, I am going to try replacing carrying my phone around while I'm walking with my Walkman that I got as part of a larger auction last year. I think that'd be fun.
You know, they at one point, I don't know why, but they had record players that you could put in your car.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. And yeah, like I can't imagine that going well.
I can't imagine it going well either. So I do have a couple records myself. I bought one when I was in Ireland. I bought one that said local artist, and it was the Proclaimers, and I'm like, I don't think they're a local artist because they're from Scotland, but I'll still grab it. So I got the one of the singles from the Proclaimers, not 500 Miles, but I don't actually have a record player. That's one of the things I'm missing. I also don't own an RCA video disc player, and my girlfriend for Christmas bought me a couple laser discs, and one of them was a laser disc and the other one was an RCA video disc. So now I have to find an RCA video disc player at some point in my life.
Yep, that is something that you have to do.
Yeah, and the RCA video disc is basically a record player. It's a record player that also plays video. It's disgustingly bad. It's
pretty fucking cool though.
It is really cool. It's just not good. Like the quality of the playback is leagues worse than laser discs. And I would never come out here and say that laser discs are the best. I think that they are a fun format and was one of the best formats ever used. But I don't think that it is better than a Blu-ray or anything like that. Anyway, we're going to move on and we're going to talk about the final story, which is very, very sad for some people. Not for me. I didn't have any money in it. Doesn't affect me at all.
I don't think this is very sad at all, actually.
This is from Ars Technica. Silicon Valley Bank shut down by U.S. banking regulators because they done fucked up. Do either of you have anything to say before we go through the story?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want me to blow the load or not.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, everyone who used this bank
Yeah.
was just a fucking Silicon Valley venture capitalist, fucking ninth tier fucking capitalist pig shit.
Yeah. Healthcare startups, tech startups, stuff like that.
And but it was also like, this is where the people who fund those stupid bullshit ideas, the people who fund taking advantage of people's hope and goodwill, those people's money go in there. Well, went in there.
Yep. And just so you know, the FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, it covers a certain amount of money. So if you or I put money in a bank, it'll cover up to $250,000. And then after that, it's not protected. So if we have $1 million in a bank account and that bank closes, the most that we're getting back is probably $250,000. Unless, we'll go through the story, but unless like that bank ends up selling to another company and then they're able to give us some more money based on what we had in there. But realistically, all we could expect is $250,000, which a lot of these healthcare startups and giant tech companies probably had more than $250,000 in there. And so they're only getting that much back for right now until Silicon Valley Bank sells its assets and is able to pay some of the people back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But some bad things happened. So it says here, trading in Pacific West, Western Alliance, and First Republic were stopped due to volatility after they all initially fell 40 to 50% in like a day. That is a huge drop. So I was reading through the comments, and one comment had a quote from it that stuck out for me. It said, the banking group's trouble stems from a decision made at the peak of the tech boom to park $91 billion of its deposits in a long-dated security such as mortgage bonds and U.S. Treasuries, which were deemed safe but are now worth $15 billion less than when they purchased them after the Federal Reserve aggressively raised interest rates. So they made a bad investment. They took $91 billion and ended up losing $15 billion of that. And that's where they started having some issues. It says the bank's shares registered their biggest ever decline on Thursday, I believe of last week, which would have been, I don't know, some date, wiping $9.6 billion off its market capitalization. SVB shares had fallen more than 60% in pre-market trading on Friday before the trading halt. Goddamn. That hopefully this doesn't, affect, hopefully this doesn't cause a recession. Remember last time we had the last time we had a banking failure this big was in 2008.
No, yeah, but 2008 was a very different situation.
It was.
Because that's what everyone on the internet is freaking out about. And I'll admit, I've freaked out about it for about 20 minutes myself.
Yeah.
But I watched 2 YouTube videos of financial witchadoodles talking about the details of it. And while it sounds really bad, you got to remember that both this bank and there was another one recently that also went under. Both of them are very niche banks. This isn't U.S. Bank or J.P. Morgan or
Washington
one of
Mutual
those.
was the big one. I think
was
WAMU.
that
That was the one that crashed in 2008.
wasn't that? Oh, okay, that's what. Okay,
Yeah, that
but I'm
was
saying like also, I'm pretty sure that the other one, if I'm thinking of the right one, was like completely built up on the back of Crypto Bros,
mm,
and that all fell apart whenever FTX died. There
yeah.
was
So
FTX, and that was it called? Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, this is going to affect a lot of those tech companies and
It's
that
gonna
have money
affect
in them.
rich people that don't care about you anyway.
Yeah,
So fuck
exactly.
them.
And like with Washington Mutual and Bank of America, back in 2008, that was a lot of lower income people or middle class people that affected, because those banks messed up and shifted that money that they owed onto the consumers, whereas this doesn't seem like it's going to affect middle class people. It's again rich people. So I am, while part of me is crossing my fingers that we have another 2008, just because I would like to buy a better house at some point in my life. And having the housing market crash might actually be beneficial for me at this moment in my life.
Yeah, mentioning the housing market. Yeah, like if there's anything that looks like 2008, it's that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, right now,
except magnified by 150%.
yeah, exactly. It says here that customers had begun to grow increasingly fearful of the bank's financial position on Thursday. No shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I looked at a stock that I had and saw it drop 40% in one day, I would also become increasingly fearful. So some startups began pulling out their cash, while some venture capitalist groups acknowledged that they had begun advising some of their portfolio companies to consider withdrawing a portion of their deposits from the lender earlier that week. It says SVB's 40 years of business relationships supporting Silicon Valley evaporated in 14 hours. There were also some things I saw on Twitter that aren't mentioned in the story, but I think some of the higher ups at SVB were also withdrawing a bunch of money like a week before everything went down.
I think I heard that on Linus Tech Tips. Yeah.
And so that is what's the word where you break the law and then go to prison? Oh, that's
Justice.
illegal. That's illegal.
Oh,
Although by break the law and go to prison, I mean break the law and get a fine and a slap on the wrist.
yeah, and then nothing changes actually.
Yeah. So I this is a huge story. Thankfully, I like, it's not going to affect us. Breeton Entertainment does not have any money in Silicon Valley Bank. Shockingly enough.
Reading Entertainment does not have any money.
Hey, Reeton has money. Reeton
Reading
Entertainment
has money.
Reeton Entertainment does not have any money.
On the books, that is what you call in the red.
Yes. We are losing money every year, technically speaking. I pay about $30 a month for Reeton Entertainment on all of the properties involved in Reeton Entertainment. So
Keep on
But
taking
it's-
it. You got to take
it's-
the street sign down. It's not doing the advertising you think it is.
and then if I take away the pay I give to Aroa and Connor, that's still only $30 a month because I don't pay them. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Aroa?
I don't remember.
Oh. So Aroa's a little high right now. I think he had some pot brownies or something.
Gummy.
Oh, pot gummies. I see. Do those taste just like gummy bears? I have no idea.
No, I bet they taste like shit.
I mean, they're good until the sugar washes away, and then yeah, it's got a kind of a grungy aftertaste, but it doesn't last that long.
and that's
then
not
it's like it's like clockwork. 2 hours later, it all hits.
Yeah. I've never had any pot gummies or pot brownies, so I wouldn't know.
I got the big raise at work, so
Congratulations.
I was like, I'll let's see how this goes. Let's try it a second time, and it's going a lot better this time. I tell you what.
That's good. I'm happy for you. Just don't eat those while on the clock.
No.
And they're not going to be doing any drug testing?
I mean,
Well,
can't fire me anyway.
they can.
Nope, not in Illinois.
Did Illinois pass the law saying that you can't fire somebody for being high?
Sure did.
Oh, nice. Because I think they want to get that passed in Oregon, but I don't know if it ever did pass. But yeah, if something's legal in the state, they can't fire you. So
yep.
That's good. In some place, like when that law first passed in Oregon, where we could smoke pot, I was at the time working at Consumer Cellular. And like that law passed, and the next day I'm walking through the halls at work, just seeing a bunch of signs being like, "Don't smoke pot. We're a drug-free workplace." And there was a guy I worked with who had a brain tumor, and he was just like super high at work all the time on pain pills. And he asked them, he's like, "If I get approved, can I smoke pot or do gummies or whatever? Like, I know you guys you frown upon it, but I would like to do that." And they're like, "It's not federally legal, so you can't do it." So they would rather
a Christian company.
Yeah, they would rather have him high on pain pills than smoking
that's legal.
weed. Yeah. It was bothersome. But anyway, SVB Bank is no more. If you had any money in there, why are you listening to my podcast?
Go fuck yourself, motherfucker.
And we were gonna cut this a little short this week, but I want to thank you for being here, Aroa.
I was right here the whole time.
Y'all right? You okay?
Hey,
Thank you for playing Red Dead Redemption during the podcast, Connor.
He's not. He's playing Shenmue.
Yeah, I'm not playing Red Dead. I'm playing Shenmue.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
asking people if they saw a black car on the day that my father passed away.
Okay, I'm
Everyone.
sorry.
People on the street, people in shops, the kids who found a cat.
Don't you know the people to talk to? Haven't you played
I've played this game multiple times, but
okay.
I'm enjoying myself. This is a great game. The silly voice acting is like half of the pleasure of it.
Did you set the clock to December 25th so you can talk to Santa Claus?
No, but I am aware that that's a thing. I think that's the in-game clock where that happens.
Oh, okay. But
and
anyway,
yes, he walks around and he's like, buy stuff from local shops, and then you can't actually buy anything.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for being here. We will be back next week talking about some more bank failures. Goodbye.
Come on and take a free ride.